Hello everybody, I am not dead yet, but today I am talking about someone whose channel certainly is. So for those of you that do not know, Natural Hypertrophy recently got his entire channel completely deleted off of YouTube due to violating YouTube terms of service. Now, I haven't actually seen the video that actually got his channel axed. Apparently, he made a video on anti-pornography or anti-pornography images and how that affects young men. And YouTube deemed that as pornography and completely axed his channel. Now, I've watched a few videos kind of talking about the situation already from a few smaller YouTubers, and some of them said that he just straight up showed hentai, and other people said no, he didn't, he really didn't. Now, based off of what I know from Natural Hypertrophy and how he kind of is regarded by fellow YouTubers in this space, people like Joffrey Verde Schofield, Curleen X, and etc., etc., he is held, even just looking at people in the comment section of these videos, he is held in extremely high regard. He is known as someone with a lot of integrity who puts out a ton of really good information and asks a lot of the hard questions and pushes people to be better versions of themselves. More specifically, natural lifters. A lot of natural lifters see Natural Hypertrophy as a role model, as he preaches and shows that you can build a great physique naturally and you do not need to turn to steroids or performance enhancing drugs in order to build something impressive. And so, just based off of my interactions with him personally and his reputation alone, I tend to believe him when he says, you know, I didn't do anything that violated the YouTube terms of service. Now, to be fair, his video did get taken down originally, and then he re-uploaded it, and then his entire channel got axed. But even if he is somebody, because he did say in apparently previous videos that some of the content he makes tends to kind of push the boundaries of what we're allowed to say, that his channel may get axed in the future. So he was actually ready for this. I do believe that even if the video violated YouTube terms of service, I do still think that what happened here is a massive abuse of power in the YouTube system. Even if he is technically in the wrong with whatever he put out in his video, he should not have gotten his channel completely deleted. Now, I found out about this through an Instagram post that he made when I woke up this morning, and I am going to actually read it to you here right now. I will put it up on the side of the screen here. Pick is my feeling when the YouTube channel I poured thousands of hours in gets manually deleted in front of my very eyes. They did not strike me, they did not warn me. A YouTube employee just took it upon himself to shut the whole thing down. The reason? A video I made warning against the dangers of sexual media for young men that YouTube deemed pornography. Yes, you read it right. They took down anti-pornography content by acting willingly ignorant and pretending to not understand the context. Meanwhile, the very show that I use as illustration is still widely available to children on YouTube, along with a plethora of sexually explicit content that never even gets age restricted. This looks like a straight up attempt to silence me. They went as far as to delete my Google account, making it impossible to appeal the decision. Any attempt of mine to reach the YouTube support results in them simply telling me that the termination is permanent and that nudity has no place on the platform. I am being punished for speaking up and have absolutely no recourse. I want to be able to keep helping people, but the power to decide is not in my camp. I never asked for help, but the future of the channel depends on it. So I will swallow my pride for once. Please share this post. Please share the message. I need the ability to talk to someone at YouTube directly, but the only way to achieve that is to make noise. Thank you for any help you can provide. Best, NH. Now, here's the thing. He's 100% right. 100% right. Even if his video did violate the YouTube terms of service or whatever, his video was made in the pure vein of education. Before people come out and be like, oh well, nudity isn't allowed on YouTube. First of all, he used pictures from an anime. And yeah, there's a lot of anime that are rather scantily, you know, there's anime that kind of push the boundaries of kind of, is this an anime or is this a hentai, right? But at the end of the day, he's using those to make a point. Okay, so I actually messaged a Natural Hypertrophy in the Instagram DMs and asked him what exactly was the anime that he put in his video that got his channel completely deleted. And he said that it was Ikitosen. And I looked into that because I'd never heard of it before. And apparently it's made by the same studio that made High School DxD. Yeah. So anybody who's even remotely familiar with anime as a genre kind of knows what to expect when they hear the name High School DxD. But for those of you that don't know, because I looked into what exactly Ikitosen actually was, And apparently, it seems like it's like this female fighting anime with a ton of fan service. That's what I got from it. Which, I mean, look into it yourself and see what you think. If you, whether or not you think that's grounds for channel termination or not. But if you do, I want to ask you, why the hell can you get entire episodes of it on YouTube and that channel is still there? And also, because you may be like, well, that's just a smaller channel, you know, not important enough for YouTube to strike down. Funimation has a trailer for like the DVD box set of the English dub or whatever coming out or whatever on YouTube. So if simply showing clips from Ikitosen is enough grounds for a channel termination, why the hell can Funimation, which is this massive company, promote that exact same anime on the website? It makes absolutely no sense, and it's actually a good example of corporations with money triumphing over small creators here on YouTube, which to me is absolutely ludicrous. That should not be the case. It's a big example of them taking the U out of YouTube. And before anyone goes, oh, well, that stuff still shouldn't be allowed on YouTube, go on YouTube and type in vagina. Type it in. See, you can see completely uncensored shit. Why? I mean, it's the vein of education, but in reality, I think it's just a matter of who is important enough to get on YouTube's radar. I think that Natural Hypertrophy must have been saying or doing certain things that caught YouTube's attention, because you don't just get instantly perma-banned. He got no warning, and not only did he not get a warning, oh, well, you could say, oh, well, the deleted video was a warning. Isn't there usually a 3-strike system put in place so that creators can correct course and make it so that their channel doesn't get instantly axed like that, like this? It makes absolutely no sense. This is by far a clear abuse of power by someone on the YouTube staff, because not only did his channel just get instantly deleted, completely bypassing the 3-strike system, but he got his entire Google account completely deleted so that he can't appeal the decision. And that can also have like further ramifications outside of YouTube. Can you imagine if that Google account was linked to something like his business email or various other things, because you can link your emails to various other things. This isn't just an assassination attempt on his YouTube account. This could actually have serious consequences in the real world and in his real life, assuming that he linked the Natural Hypertrophy Google account to various other aspects of his life. So even if you do think that the video was pushing it a little too far, there are, as he said, a ton of sexually explicit content on YouTube that just doesn't get striked down. You'll either get a you need to be signed in to see this because it may be deemed for older audiences, or again, you can just type in vagina on the YouTube search and you can just see one just straight up like that, completely uncensored. So, you know, before people start coming in and being like, oh, he deserved it, then why are those videos still up? Because if you are allowing those videos up in the vein of quote-unquote education, so is Natural Hypertrophy stuff. Natural Hypertrophy is 100% pure education. I'm a relatively new subscriber to his channel, but from the videos that I have watched, he is very, very educative. And I think it's important for all the channels here to band together to help Natural Hypertrophy in this case. Whether you're a small channel or you're a big channel, I think it is important for us to help him out in this case, because this is a symbol of what's to come for the rest of us. Because it's like, what happens when you are in the hot seat? More specifically, people like Greg Doucette and More Plates, More Dates, who Greg has already had videos, his Instagram deleted, More Plates, More Dates has gotten banned off of TikTok, and he's had videos taken down. And so with people, with YouTube willingly showing that they are willing to just axe a creator for no reason, or for without warning at the very least, what stops it from happening to you? Nothing. All that stops it is whether or not you are on YouTube's good side. And what usually puts you on YouTube's good side, whether or not you're willing to be their lapdog and say what they want to say. The second, it's all freedom of speech for everyone until you say something risky, or until you say something that the powers that be disagree with, or that the powers that be do not like. And the second that happens, then you become a target. And we've seen it with various different people throughout YouTube. People like Leafy is here and Mumkey Jones, who I think is now called Simian Jimmy on this YouTube, on his new channel, also got axed immediately like that, completely gone. And well, sure, Leafy and Mumkey were certainly pushing the boundaries of the YouTube guidelines a lot more than Natural Hypertrophy. I think it's important for a platform that focuses on the sharing of information to allow people to share information, because I know a lot of people will say, oh well, what if they're doing this to combat misinformation? Who gets to decide that? If you are not allowed to say something that is wrong, how do we truly know that you're wrong? I believe that in a free market of information, in a space like YouTube, people should be able to say whatever they want, so long as it's not direct attacks and calling people, direct calls to violence, obviously. They shouldn't be able to go and say, hey, you should go to this house and, blow it up or something. But when it comes to information and opinions, I believe that people should be able to say whatever they want on this platform, but as a result, they should be also willing to receive the opinions of whoever else views their content, which is why when I put out a contentious video, I'm not shocked when some people come at me and start insulting me or trying to disagree, even respectfully disagree, because some people can't seem to handle respectful disagreements. But the point is that when you give these powers that be the power to shut down anyone they disagree with, they will eventually come for you. It happened with that famous poem written during World War II by the priest, I Did Not Stand Up. And it basically goes along the lines of, first they went for their political opposition, and I did not stand up because I was not their political opposition. Then they went for the elderly and the disabled, and I did not stand up because I was not elderly, nor was I disabled. And then they went for the gays, and I did not stand up because I was not gay. And then they went for the Jewish, and I did not stand up because I was not Jewish. And then they went for me. And at that time, there was no one left to stand up for me. And I believe that this is a very, very similar case. We as creators need to band together and help Natural Hypertrophy, because if we let this slide, if we set the precedent that we are okay with YouTube just axing creators like that without not only due process like the 3-strike system, but also without a process to appeal, then we enter the possibility of YouTubers just disappearing off the platform for saying the wrong thing, for saying something that YouTube doesn't like, and I refuse to let that happen. So, again, unless new information comes out to show that they actually did give him 3 strikes, that this wasn't just immediately appealed, and that there was good reason for all of this stuff to happen, which I highly doubt, I stand by Natural Hypertrophy, and I believe that we should fight relentlessly to help him get his channel back from this insane injustice. Because we're next. We're next. But those are just my thoughts on the situation. Thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. I appreciate you greatly, because I'm also someone who's not really afraid to speak out against the powers that be, and hell, maybe I'll be in the hot seat next, but until that happens, I am not dead yet, and if you aren't either, let's keep fighting to ensure that Natural Hypertrophy has a tomorrow waiting for him.